Sit down, Brutus. Sit down, Bubby. Well, this is National Hug Your Hound Day. This is not my hound. This is Olivia's hound. This is Olivia Fortner. This guy was at Greenfield Hancock Animal Management. Wasn't getting adopted. How did you hear about him?
I actually heard about them on Greenfield Hancock Animal Management Facebook page. I saw one of your videos training with him, and I was like, what a sweet boy. So I had to go see him, and now I've had him for almost a year.
Yes, and actually what I loved is that you actually called when you were having some question about what he was doing. Instead of just returning him, you said, help me out figuring out. And it's worked. You put in the work, and he's doing awesome. I think that is so cool. I appreciate that. I love this guy, and I felt so bad for him stuck so long there. So today, in honor of National Hug Your Hound Day, I wanted to talk a little bit about affection toward dogs and what it means. Because a lot of people, and I'm sure you've heard this too, it's like hug and kiss your dog. But do you really? The thing is, you have to understand what is a hug to them. So with each other, how they show kind of bonding with each other, they'll lick each other's ears, eyes. I'm sure you've seen dogs groom each other, right? That's why they like petting on the head. But technically, this to a dog is a dominant signal. Okay. So
He's like,
I think he's actually headed for Chef Amy's food. Hey, Brutus. Hey, come here, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Thank you. So technically, it's a dominant signal, which for a dog that is not an aggressive dog is tolerable. The problem is when you have kids going up to a dog hugging, because that is a dominant signal. So if you have nieces or nephews and that, tell them never walk up to a strange dog and hug a dog, because to a dog that is a dominant thing to do. And if it's a dominant aggressive dog, it can turn and go pow, and that's happened before. I watched footage of a man try to do that to a police canine, and it bit him right in the face because giving a dominant signal to a police canine obviously is probably not a good idea. But he did it, and he kind of paid the price in his nostrils there with a little bit of tooth. So there is a difference between human affection and canine social bonding. So we're emotions based. So when people hug each other, there's like an emotional swell that happens. But for them, dogs are hierarchy based. So a hug to them is an assertion of rank. It's much different. So if every time we hugged, it was like you hugged a person, they're like, hey, who do you think you are? That's kind of the feeling they get from it. So unless if they're a submissive dog, they'll deal with it. But you'll notice sometimes they'll get squirmy when they're hugged. That's because that's the signal it sends to them. That's why. So emotional bond differs greatly from social bond. It's good to keep that in mind with them. You know how you can show appreciation to them, though? Really what they want on this day when we want to show appreciation to them? Adventure.
good little hike, nice walk.
Absolutely, and go off trail. Dogs love to explore new things, right? They get used to all the scents in the house, all the scents in the yard, even the scents in the neighborhood. What they really love is when you take them like off trail in the woods. They're like, wow, what does this smell? What does this smell? So if you want to show appreciation to your dog, I say you give your dog the gift of adventure. And if you have a submissive dog, go ahead and hug him, which I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And there's nothing wrong with that. This guy is a really, really sweet guy. Now, Bristol, and I don't know if you're aware of this from a couple of, well, I think it was last week, I brought on Bristol, who is available for adoption. Kind of similar story to yours. She has not been able to get out of the shelter system. Aww. I brought her on, and I think, Jason, do we have something to roll in relationship to Bristol? She actually was adopted.
Oh,
we can
awesome.
put a picture up of her. There she is.
Oh my gosh.
This is her after her adoption in her new home.
Look how happy she looks.
I know she does. And look at her riding home. Aww. The leash all the way around her waist. She's like, let's get out of here, folks.
Yep. She said, I'm out.
Absolutely. She was out. So again, these dogs, and it's important to realize that when dogs sit in the shelter system too long, just like your Brutus did, they can start getting depressed.
Yeah.
Everything starts affecting them. I watch their energy go down, 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 till finally, it's like they're not there. So I'm so thankful for folks like you that come on, that give these guys a chance, that say, let's give them, not just give them a chance, but if issues come up, let's call somebody.
Yeah.
Let's not just, it's too much I can deal with. It's a commitment,
yeah.
And it's a commitment enough to train. And I think that you're an example for other dog owners to say, yes, it's worth it to do that, because look at him.
He's so sweet.
Look at him. Look at him. Thank you.